The recent coordinated attacks on communities have led to loss of lives and property, disrupted livelihoods, and deepened divisions amongst us as a people. This engagement is therefore an opportunity to address these issues and seek sustainable solutions for lasting peace. The senseless act of violence that was witnessed in some of our communities must stop. Let me make it unequivocally clear that any further attacks on innocent civilians, destruction of property, or acts of lawlessness will be decisively dealt with. Operation Safe Haven, alongside other security agencies, will not stand idly beside and watch criminal elements destabilize our communities. Those who think they can take the law into their hands and go unpunished must have a rethink, because their actions will face the full weight of the law. While security forces will continue to do everything possible within their mandates to ensure the safety of lives and property, we must acknowledge that the military action alone cannot bring about lasting peace. Sustainable peace is a collective responsibility which requires commitment from every stakeholder. Let me quickly remind all of you as stakeholders that violence has never solved any problem. Instead, it leads to more pain, destruction, and deep-seated hatred. History has shown that even the most protracted conflicts in the world have only been resolved through dialogue, compromise, and reconciliation. We cannot afford, therefore, to continue down this destructive path. This meeting is therefore timely to enable us again understand one another, address our grievances, and forge a common ground for peaceful coexistence. I therefore urge every community, every leader, and every resident of Bokkos to embrace dialogue. Let us talk to one another rather than take arms against one another. I am aware that there are real grievances, some of which date back to several decades, while some are recent. But no matter how genuine our grievances might seem to be, violence is not the answer. Retaliation will only fuel more violence, and this cycle will never end. However, this cycle must end. One of the greatest virtues we can cultivate as a people is the ability to forgive. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting what has happened or condoning injustice. Instead, it is about breaking the cycle of violence and choosing the path of peace. When we forgive, we allow healing to take place, not just in our communities, but also in our hearts. Therefore, I call on all parties to let go of real or perceived grievances and choose the path of reconciliation. We must be willing to work together to rebuild trust and foster relationships that transcend ethno-religious differences. We have lived together for generations as neighbors, sharing the same markets, farmlands, and places of worship. Let us not allow the forces of division to tear us apart. It should be noted that if we do not resolve this crisis now, it will only worsen the sufferings of all of us. Conflict breeds insecurity, and insecurity destroys economic opportunities. Farmers cannot go to their fields, traders cannot do business freely, and investors are scared away. This in turn leads to increased poverty and hunger. The more we fight among ourselves, the more we create an environment where development cannot thrive. We must ask ourselves, what kind of future do we want for our children? Do we want them to grow up in an atmosphere of fear, hatred, and division? Or do you want to leave them with a legacy of peace, unity, and prosperity? The choice is ours to make, and I believe we will choose wisely. It is also pertinent to point out that all of you stakeholders are leaders in your various rights. Therefore, as leaders, whether traditional, religious, or community-based, you have a duty to promote peace. Your words and actions must be geared towards unity, not division. You must be voices of reason, encouraging our people to resolve disputes through dialogue rather than violence. You must also be courageous enough to speak out against those who incite violence, no matter who they are. I urge our religious leaders to continue preaching messages of peace and reconciliation. Our traditional rulers must leverage their influence to mediate disputes before they escalate. Our youth must resist being used as tools for violence and instead becomes champions of peace. Women, who are often the worst affected by conflict, must also be involved in the peace-building process. Let me reiterate the commitment of Operation Safe Haven to peace and security in the joint operations area. I wish to also assure you that security agencies will remain steadfast in their duty to protect lives and property. However, we need the full cooperation of all stakeholders to provide credible information that will help us apprehend those responsible for these heinous acts. I also want to assure you that we will remain impartial in our duty, as our duty is to protect all law-abiding citizens, irrespective of tribe, religion, or political affiliation. We will continue to operate within the framework of justice and fairness to ensure that the perpetrators of violence are brought to book. In that regard, this is why the Chief of Army Staff is personally here with us today. This meeting will afford all stakeholders the opportunity to rent their grievances and fashion our modalities towards preventing further occurrences and foster peaceful coexistences in Bokkos local government area and its environs. On this note, with the kind permission of the Chief of Army Staff, I declare this stakeholders' engagement open and look forward to fruitful deliberations that will bring us closer to our shared goals of lasting peace. Thank you very much.
The bandits come, most of them are looters. Loots all that what they have in their houses and went away with it. As a traditional ruler, we always preach and beg people to embrace peace. We always beg them to embrace peace in this local community. But we will not rely, we will continue to preach peace in this local community. I will say kudos to the GOC and our Sector 5 commander for the job well done. If not because of the health of the security in this local community, today you cannot, you come here and you can't see anybody. As a Oliver twist, people have already said we need more security in this local government. Because this local government is too large, burdened with Kaduna State, burdened with Nasarawa State. I want to call on my people of Bokkos, local government area, both the farmers and the headers. Please, we embrace peace. Please, we embrace peace. Sir, if you are interested,